podcast series hosted by ChartAddicts.
Long Money Luke.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Expert Trader podcast series hosted by ChartAddicts. We got a very, very, very special guest in the house today. Close friend, somebody that I look up to, Mr. Long Money Luc Longmire. Welcome to the ChartAddicts podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's an absolute pleasure, and I'm excited for this. Let's do it.
I'm equally excited. Luc, for the folks at home that don't know who you are, do you want to give them a quick backstory? How did you get to where you are today?
So for you guys that are listening in, my name is Luc Longmire. Going a little bit back in the day, if you will, just kind of give you an outline. I got involved in entrepreneurship at a very young age, and just in a not so right way, hustling the wrong way and so forth. But when I was doing that, I found time, freedom, and financial freedom, right? And the how always doesn't matter. And if you understand that on a deep level, spiritual laws, the how is always irrelevant. And I found that at 15, 16, 17 years old. And I was just doing it the wrong way, And long story short, I got caught up, went to jail for 6 months, got out of jail. I was like, I'm not going to get caught this time, be smarter, and so forth. I got caught again, went back to jail. And I actually went through rehab. I was court ordered to go through rehab, live in a halfway house as well. All my money was, gone, went to court fees, lawyer fees and all that. And next thing I know, I was like, man, I don't have time for financial freedom, but I know it's out there. I just need to find a legal, better way to do it. Got a regular job for a year, saved up some money to get a car because I didn't have a car, I didn't have a license. I was probation 3 counties. It was bad. And next thing I know, I got a job at a gym, and I worked myself up to a 6-figure position as general manager at a Gold's Gym. And I got a taste of freedom, financial freedom to a certain degree. I was making 6 figures, but I was time broke, and I was working all these hours, 60, 70 hours a week, and I didn't know where I was going. I was like, man, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And so I had to make a change, and I prayed. I believe in God, higher power, whatever you choose to believe in. And next thing I know, someone hits me up on Facebook, said, hey, you ever heard of Forex? I was like, no, enlighten me, and I didn't really know what I was joining. I joined a company, taught you how to trade, residual income, network marketing, all that. And I literally saw this, and I was like, this is it. This is my ticket out of 9 to 5, out of a job and so forth. And I became 100% coachable, 100% just, all in with it. And I made the decision. And if you're listening in here, that's the biggest thing is making the decision. Like, no matter what happens, I'm going to make it happen. Not like, if this happens, I'm going to quit. If I lose a trade, blow an account, I'm going to quit. But the end goal is still the end goal. And I actually thrived. I have a very ambitious mindset. And about a year after I started, I was able to retire myself. 2 years, I was able to retire my wife. I'm going on 3.5 years retiring my mom now. I've only been in entrepreneurship. I haven't even hit my 4-year mark. So it's been an absolute blessing being able to create my own Forex app. I trade live with, 200,000 students worldwide, on a global scale and so forth. And, to me, it's kind of normal now. I say that it's like, oh, wow. But like, to me, it's like, yeah, I do my thing, and it's amazing now, though.
So there's a lot of nuggets there, and I really want to dive deeper into each one of those because I really feel like we can't let some of those go. You mentioned the importance of being coachable. You mentioned the importance of not stressing over the how and really figuring out a purpose and making the decision. So I want to touch back on those, but let's give some folks a little bit more context on you, Luc. How long ago was this journey? Like, how long ago was it when you were at the halfway house, you were dealing with, hustling the wrong way to where you got to today?
So I'm 31 now. So from 15 to 23, I was living that lifestyle. So about 8 years, I was hustling and all that good stuff. And then I was in rehab for about 1.5 years, give or take. So from 23, 24 to about 27, not just the halfway house, but that's when I was in the gym. So about 27, 28, I was doing the halfway house / gym industry. And then from 27, 28 to now, so about 4 years, I've been doing this, 3.5, 4 years with this. And then you mentioned the coachability. That's how you master anything. There's 2 ways to master something. Is one, mentorship and coaching. So just really quick on this is buy that program, buy that course, sign up for that mentorship, whatever it is, real estate, Forex, e-commerce, whatever it is, buy the mentorship. I spent 6 figures plus in 2019, 100,000 plus in mentorship and coaching from Bob Proctor, Tony Robbins, Kevin Trudeau, if you guys know who that is. And that catapulted me. You're like, well, Luc, you're dropping 30 grand on this seminar. Yeah, I am. That 30 grand got me connections that made me a lot more, 10x, and coachability is so important because for you to master anything in life, you have to find someone that has what you want, number one, but two, be completely submissive. If Bob tells me to jump, I say how high. Run how fast, not because, oh, egotistical Bob, but like, yo, like he has the results. I'm going to be 100% coachable. And that's how to cut the learning curve in half is like, if he's doing it XYZ, he can tell me, hey, don't do it this way. I wasted 6 months doing it this way. Or, hey, I do it this way because this works. And then the second point is repetition over and over and over. And that's how you master something, shooting a basketball, free throws, charts, trading, whatever is repetition over and over and over.
All right. So a lot of deep value there. And I'm going to dive deeper into that because I feel like you have a pretty unique perspective on that coachability. And having been so close to people like Bob Proctor and Tony Robbins, I feel like we're going to have a pretty interesting discussion. But this is a trading podcast, so I know the folks at home want to know a little bit about you as a trader. So could you walk us through your trading nowadays, what you're working on, and how you're really trading?
Yeah, definitely. So when I first got started, I didn't want to trade. Like when my first 30 days, 60 days, I saw all these indicators. I'm talking about like a laser show. I'm like, yo, I'm not learning this. There's just, it's overwhelming. It's just like so much going on here. And I actually found a mentor. He's like, well, have you thought about taking all that off? I'm like, well, how do you trade? And I found this concept called naked trading and price action trading combined with institutional trading, so to speak. And it all clicked. I was probably 4 or 5 months in, and that's when the clicking moment. I mean, I wasn't super profitable, like I wasn't a 6-figure earner in 4 months, but like it clicked where it all made sense. I'm like, yo, I can either trade reversals or breakouts. Okay, liquidity zone, sideways movement, and I can trade the movement off of that. And it's either you're trading with trend breakout or you're trading a stop hunt, which is liquidity, institutional moves, imbalances and stuff. So you're trading reversal. And when it made that much sense, that's when it took my whole game to the next level. So for me now, I do a few different things in my personal trading. But on my personal trading, it's the same time every single day. And you want to create a system within yourself. So for me, it's the same time, same pair, same setup. And I tell people all the time, like, you want to get to a point where trading's boring. And they're like, what do you mean? Like, you should know what you're looking for. You should see what you're looking for over and over and over. Like if trading's super exciting for you, you're doing one or two things wrong. One is you're over leveraging, or two, you have no idea what you're doing because you're like, oh my God, it hit take profit. You should be expecting it to hit take profit,
Yep. I want to say 4 years back when I first got introduced to Luc was on something like a 50 or 60 pip or 50, 60 trade winning streak. In terms of
I remember that
back to back, he was the talk of the Forex industry everywhere. Every company was talking about, we got to trade gold. We got to trade gold. And one of the most important things that Luc was talking about was sort of like the mindset involved in trading and expecting trades to win as opposed to just sort of gambling away with the money. So I think that's very interesting. Now, you mentioned two things, Luc. You mentioned that you're trading manually and you're also using some other platforms. So can you talk about those, the difference between manual trading and between using some kind of like EA?
Yeah. So on manual trading, you're actually putting thought, energy, it's taking up your time and so forth. So like, that's when you're actually, entering the trades yourself, buying, selling, analyzing the charts, waking up, staying up late, whatever that looks like. And then you have like EAs and AIs, artificial intelligence, expert advisors, where you can create a strategy, if you will. And from that strategy, you can, use the coding and so forth on an analytical level behind the scenes. And that coding is going to pick up your same move, your same strategy and so forth. So where you can automate your trading, that's where someplace, you want to create passive incomes and so forth. So that's going to help you with what you're doing. For me, myself, like I travel, I tour, I do a lot of things. So when you have the compound of both, that's where you can really scale in and have another diversification.
Okay. So how long was it into your manual trading journey before you transitioned over to using EAs?
You definitely want to learn how to trade because this is a skill set that you can never be taken away. For some reason, I mean, I'm not going to say technology is going to go away, but for some reason, something happens or whatever, and that's what I preach to people. Like, you can't unlearn how to trade. It's a skill set that no matter what, 50 years from now, you'll always have, and I always tell people like this, don't be a trader, be an entrepreneur that knows how to trade. That's one of the biggest things is, Like I don't define myself as a trader. I'm an entrepreneur that is a beast trader. That's one of my sources of income. So that one of the things here is create that capital of trading, but then take that 10, 50, 100K, million, whatever it is, and diversify. Now you got a diversification, automation, e-commerce, real estate, whatever, hedge fund, whatever. And now you're still trading. Use trade as your cash cow, that continuous amount of income coming in, and take that income and diversify.
So you know what? Let's dive straight into that. That's a perfect segue. And I feel like one of the most important areas of value that you can provide is sort of transitioning from trading to these other entrepreneurial ventures. So can you explain to the folks at home how you view that, how you think about taking Forex profits and then using that in your entrepreneurial life?
Oh yeah, definitely. Most investments or entrepreneurial endeavors, cost a little bit, at least 10,000, if not all the way up to $1 million. So when, you can create that capital with your Forex profit, you still want a trading account, with a decent amount of money so you can continue to make that money, but you're taking your profits. And this is one of the biggest secrets that people don't understand, is even high level people, right? Is you make 10, whatever that number is, 10, 50, 100K, million, and you put it into, say, an Amazon or Walmart automation, right? Now you're creating profits out of that Amazon Walmart store, for example, right? Now you get, just say 50, 100K, a million, whatever that number is, out of the Amazon Walmart. And you always hear this term, have your assets pay your liabilities, right? I hear it all the time. But let's go one step further. Take those profits from the automation store and reinvest into real estate, right? Now follow me here. Right now you got some real estate going, right? And you haven't bought a liability, you haven't bought a watch, a car, whatever, right? Yet. Right now you got the Amazon cranking. Now you take the profits from the Walmart Amazon store. Now you invest into real estate. You take those profits and put it into like an AI of some sort, or a hedge fund, or whatever, ABC, a C investment, right? Now you're taking that profit, right? And now that C investment is generating 10,000 a month profit. Now you're taking that profit and reinvest it. Do that 4 or 5 times over. Now you got like a churning farm. Profits here, profits here, profits here. Now you go buy the car. Now you go buy the watch or whatever. You want to create at least 5 sources of income, generating you 5, 10,000 a month profit. Now it's like, in your first, until you're 30, 35, generate these multiple sources of income. Don't just go, let me go buy the watch, an AP or a Rolex, blah, 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 blah. Instead of doing that, take a step back and just reinvest. And that's one step further of how you can get abundance, right?
That's an incredible point, because a lot of folks are always told this cliche about millionaires have 7 streams of income, billionaires have 7 streams of income, and they think they're independent streams of income that are all providing that cash flow. Mm-hmm. What you're talking about is more of like an overflow cup, and the overflow goes into these other buckets, and then they feed the other buckets.
Yes.
So you're telling me, and please correct me if I have this wrong, but you're saying take the trading profits, invest it in a cash flow stream like Amazon automation, take the profits from the Amazon automation and invest it into a passive income stream like real estate, mm-hmm. and then take those profits and then put them into like an AI trading account. Am I having that right?
And then do that just like 1 or 2 more steps over, then go treat yourself. Because like you don't want to just have 1 or 2 sources of income. I got a source of income for my rent, where you see here. I got a source of income for a car. I got a source of income for this, and so forth. And now like my whole life is free, what I'm saying? And I got, other plays or whatever. And it's just an overflow now. And I don't like using the word term bite the bullet off the first investment or 2, but like, just don't get so eager to go buy something or blow all your money on design or whatever. Like, look at this like a 10 to 20 year program instead of like a 1 to 2 year program.
So to the folks that heard this and they're hearing, okay, well, what if I just make a couple $100,000 trading and I want to go do that lifestyle that I've been seeing on Instagram? I want to go travel the world and do all this stuff and buy the cars and do this stuff. What advice would you give to those folks about staying in for the long term and about that delayed gratification?
Yes, delayed gratification is cool. And you can travel for cheap. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm an advocate on traveling. Like I've been to 32 countries in 2 years, 3 years, you know what I'm saying? So I'm an advocate for it. But like, those are experiences, right? spend some money on experiences, travel, because you're going to meet people in Bali. You're going to meet people in Tula, Mexico, and that's going to expand your mind, right? And once your mind is expanded, it can't go back. You know, it's like a t-shirt. If I give my shirt to Shaq, right, the shirt can't go back to a medium or a large. It's stretched out. Same thing with your mindset. So spend a little money on traveling, but like I said, don't go buy all these liabilities that depreciate. Hence, you know, like I said, cars and designer and all this stuff. And if you're making, you know, you in 2 years, you make 200K, 300K, you know, I would say leave 100K in your trading account and take out 50, 100K to generate you another, you know, 10, 20K a month. And that's where you're going to have that really explosion, if you will. And like I said, look at the 3, 5, 10-year goal, right? And not just so like, I don't want to say microwave, but even a 1 to 2 year microwave result. It's like, okay, cool. Like, and one step further before we switch gears here is like, no one cares on Instagram about your Lamborghini. Like no one, like you're buying 6 figures plus for what, 2,000 likes. So you're going to buy a Lamborghini, and follow me here. This is important, right? You're after the feeling, right? You're after the feeling. You don't really want the Lamborghini. What does a car do? It goes from A to B. That's all it does, right? So you're after the feeling the Lamborghini gives you. You're after the feeling the Rolex gets you, right? Because what people are, oh, that's a nice watch, bro. Oh, the diamonds in the watch, man. Because you're going to feel accomplished. You're going to feel like a trophy. You're going to feel cool. You rev your engine down the road with your suicide doors or whatever the Ferrari has or whatever. And you're, oh, look, daddy, look, mommy. Or the girls are looking at you. What if you already had that feeling, right? What if you already had that? I've went 2 years without a car. Right? I've Ubered a lot because I don't need to be like, oh, there's Luke. Oh my God, he's doing it. Like, quit trying to stomp for the gram because no one cares. You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares about the girls that think you're all king, whatever, are probably like thirsty and whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you're doing it for all the wrong reasons.
Luke was one of the first people that I'd seen make 5 figures in a trade effortlessly day after day. Like Luke speaking from the perspective of he could have bought these cars, and that amount of that perspective is really important for people to see both sides of the coin, which is, hey, one day you're going to become so successful you can do everything you want and live your childhood dream, which is to have that car, house, girls, whatever. Or, and matter of fact, I might as well just ask you this. What do you think is the difference in perspective between somebody who wants to achieve this goal so they can have some materialistic things and somebody who's achieving it for a different purpose?
Awareness. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the biggest awareness of understanding that, like, and maturity level as well. You know, there's levels of awareness. So if you're doing it for other people, you're doing it like you're lacking something inside. That might be lack of confidence, you know, getting really deep here, but you might be lack of feeling of importance, or you want to be center of attention, or, you know, that you want to be like looked at like, ooh, he's got it. But you want all that attention because it's a lack of inside, right? There's a reason why multi-billionaires and multi-millionaires, they wear the same black t-shirt. You know, they have a non-bust down watch. You know, they drive, you know, one of my mentors, he's up there in the close to billions. He drives a Lexus. I asked him one day, I'm like, why do you drive a Lexus? He's like, well, I could buy the Ferrari 10 times over, but it doesn't bring me happiness. I'm like, that's interesting. He's like, well, what brings me happiness is my family taken care of. I get to travel wherever I want, do whatever I want, and that brings my happiness. Buying a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, think about, like, there's a lot of inconvenient things that happen. The computer chip goes wrong, right? The gas is crazy. The brakes go out. You're spending 10K. It's just like, it's a lot of inconvenience with it. You know what I'm saying? It goes back to that feeling of, are you after the feeling of looking good, or feeling you want that confidence back or whatever? Like I said, imagine if you already had it, would you really buy the Lamborghini? Would you really buy the Ferrari?
That's a great point. Sort of having that perspective is really crucial. Of, I don't need it to fulfill this need that I feel like I need to fill. Okay, that's really interesting. We're going to go back and touch on a lot of the mindset stuff. Let's stay on track here in terms of the trading. I want to give some tips to folks at home in terms of mindset. So you're somebody that I saw go through different trials and different peaks. So what advice could you give in terms of the mindset that's needed to win in trading?
So when you're trading, don't trade for the money in the beginning, and don't trade for the skill, right? And when you get the skill, the money is going to always come. And I would challenge you, instead of being a trader mindset, be an investor mindset. So don't trade for the money, don't trade for the pips, but trade for the ROI. You know, bottom of the day, you know, your trading account, your MT4, your broker account, whatever, is going to be a percent growth. Did your account go 5% for the day? Did it grow 7%, 10%, 2%, 3%, whatever it is, right? And instead of, because what happens if you're trading for money, you might force another trade. If you're trading for pips, you're trying to squeeze out another few pips or whatever. So the bottom line is really the ROI. And one step further, I created a trading plan. It's so simple. Number one is a time. Stick to the same time you trade every day. That might be, you know, I'm talking Eastern time, 8 to 10, 9 to 11, 7 to 10. It might be London session, 3 to 5, 3 to 6, 4 to 6, whatever. And number two is a pair. Every pair has a personality, right? Every single pair has a personality. So the same pair is going to move at the same time, the same move, and it's just going to be clockwork, right? And then thirdly is the percent goal, right? Don't trade, like I said, for the pips or the money, but understand that you're trading for percent growth. And what I always tell people to do is, if you can risk, follow me here, if you take 3 trades a week, and minimum, right, you're risking 2% to make 4%. You should never go below a 1 to 2 risk reward. So if you're risking 2 to make 4 and you win 2 trades, you're up 8% for the week. Right? You win a trade, 4%. You win a trade, 4%. You lose a trade, you're at 6%. So let's do some math really quick, right? So that's 6% for the week. 6 times 4 weeks in a month is 24%. If you start with $1,000 account, well, let's do 500. $500 times by 1.24. After 1 year, it goes from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So in 2 years, you're at 100K. Right? And that's low balling it, 2 and 1 in a week, right? We're not even talking about trading every day. So if you look at those numbers, what if you go 3 and 1 a week? That's 75%, right? That's not the best type of trading. That's 4%, 4%, right? That's 12%. You lose a trade, it's 10%. 4 weeks in a month is 40%. 40% a month on your money, like that's 480% a year. You are king, you know what I'm saying? You are king, and you're only doing 75% accuracy. So understand that the compound effect, people don't understand that. They're trying to win home runs every day. They're trying to do 50% in a week, 50% in a day. It's just like slow and steady wins the race.
So that kind of leads me into the question of, what's your perspective between profit taking and compounding in the account?
I would say there's definitely a balance. So what I would do is have 2 accounts. So if you have $1,000 to start, 500, 500. If you have 500, 250, 250, whatever that looks like, right? Split the 2. And it's very important to withdraw, because it's never profit until you take it out of your trading account. Right. And you know, it's like monopoly money, right? You could trade. You take it up to 50K, goes to 30K, goes to 50K, goes to 80K, goes to 40K. And you've done all this work, and your subconscious mind doesn't know real from fake. So it doesn't, if you don't reward yourself, right? It's like, why am I even doing this? There's no point to this, right? Because you never get the reward of it. So have one account that you're compounding, right? And then another account where you're taking some money out. So what I would do, and it depends on your bills and all that good stuff. But, you know, what I would do is 10% a week, or maybe 10, 15% a month, something like that. And if you don't have a lot of money, withdraw $100, go to dinner with it. Buy movie night with your girl or your boyfriend, or go out and do something for $50, $100. Right? Just do something and reward yourself in the beginning, because it's very important to withdraw that money so you can literally use the money. Get used to doing it. Pay off a bill. You know, pay off your phone bill for $150. $150 phone bill withdrawal turns into, you know, taking yourself and your family out on a yacht for $5K at one point. You know, so like, you always want to do both. And it's very important to do that, because you want to take advantage of the compound effect. But at the same time, you definitely want to withdraw some money and so forth. And like I said, you know, in the beginning, if you have a job while you're trading, that's fine. Everybody starts out like that usually. Don't rely on trading to pay your life in the beginning. Use that job. This is very important. Use that. People bash all the time. It's silly. Use your job to fund your entrepreneurship, to fund your trading. Don't just like, oh, well, I got a $10,000 account, I'm quitting my job. You're going to cause stress. You're going to force trades because you have to take your trade right. You have to make those trades. You got to win those trades. So make sure, you know, that with that, you're using your job to fund your entrepreneurship.
The traders who are watching this can definitely relate to that, which is they have a job, they're also trading, and then there's that stigma, which is if you haven't quit your job yet, you're not at that, you haven't hit that pinnacle. Do you think that there is that one peak where it all just goes right and everything just falls into place? Or is this really a longer term play where you just have to work the job, fund your trading account, use the trading account to fund that other trading account so you can kind of have both things going? How do you feel about that? Is there like a curve when it hits that exponential growth, that takeoff point, or is it just more gradual?
Both. I mean, it is gradual, but once you hit that point, people are like, well, Luke, when do I go full time? And everybody's different. Like me, like I've always had some sort of money. So when I was, making $2,000-$3,000 a month, I didn't want to go full time because I wasn't there yet. I still wanted that security blanket with my job, and my job wasn't getting in the way of my trading. And this is, everybody's going to be different on this, but when your job is getting in the way or is too involved, if you will, into your trading and or to your entrepreneur endeavors, that's when you need to quit. Right? Because like for the longest time, like I could have quit probably 5-6 months in, but I stayed a whole year at my job. You know what I'm saying? I was stacking money. And even though I was trading, I was profitable, I was still putting a little money in my trading account so I could use bigger lot sizes and have the bigger ROI. So I'm saying like, if you don't get in a rush. It's out of this question. The biggest takeaway is don't get in a rush to go full time. Don't be in a rush like, oh, I quit my job, blah, blah, blah. Don't get into the Instagram bashing and people talking crap like, oh, you're not a real trader if you have a job, blah, blah, blah. Like this is your journey, right? It's important. You got to, like in school, they tell you to keep your eyes on your own paper. You need to stop looking at everybody else's profits and wins and all this. This is your journey. You don't know that person that just made 5K just blew 50K. You don't know that if that person is demo or maybe this is a practice account or whatever it is. Keep your eyes on your paper and your journey.
That's extremely, extremely important. I appreciate you sharing that. I think we're kind of putting everybody in a blanket term, which is traders watching this. But in reality, there's different tiers of traders depending on where they are in their journey. Beginners, folks who are functional, but they don't really have consistency, folks that have consistency, but they want to level up. What advice could you give to those three different pools of traders? The guy that's just starting out wants to make sure he doesn't get caught in any traps.
So the guy that just started, and people disagree and don't disagree with me sometimes on this. What I tell people is the first couple weeks, maybe month, go demo. But once you know what a buy limit versus sell limit is or risk management to a certain degree, go live. People are like, well, Luke, you don't want to lose your money. Do 0.01. If you can't afford to lose $5 on a trade at 50 pips or 100 pips for whatever reason, you're doing 100 pips stop loss, it's $10, right? So no matter what, you got to get accustomed to the psychology of its real money. Because trust me, I know people like, bro, like I'm killing on demo, blah, blah, blah. Cool, go live. And it's like, whoa, it's so different. Yeah, it is. But no matter what, even if you have a $10,000 account, 0.01, you got to get used to real money because trust me, when you're demo, who cares if you put a stop loss on or you move your stop loss in profit or whatever. So if you're like, well, Luke, you don't want to lose your money going into month or week 2, week 3, week 4, you're not going to lose money on 0.01, unless you're trading indices, and you shouldn't even trade indices if you're brand new. So that's the first thing I would say, and really focus on a few things. Like you're not going to be super profitable in your first 60, 90 days. Figure out what type of trader. Are you a scalper? Are you intraday? Are you a swing trader? That was probably the hardest thing for me is figuring out what type of trader I am. Naked trading, indicator, Fibonacci, whatever. Secondly, the time I want to trade. Because I was trading a little London, like, yo, like when it's London session, I just want to force a trade because I want to go to bed. You know what I'm saying? Or in the morning, I'm like, yo, this is my sweet spot. So in that first 30, 60, maybe even 90 days, is figuring out your system, what type of trader you are, and focus on that. Don't focus on the money, right? Because like I said, this is a $1 billion skill set. This is going to take time. So that's the first part on the beginner section. And then the next level was...
Real quick, before we pass on to that, I kind of just wanted to ask a question based on what you said about demo trading and the real traders transitioning. For a lot of the folks that are on demo that haven't gone to real trading, what do you feel like is that shift that's stopping them? What do you think is the difference between some people who succeed on demo and then they go to live and they seem to have some trouble? What's that break that's happening there?
It's usually the greed. You don't want to lose the money, and it's fear of failure. You know what I'm saying? Because like it's like you're jumping in the water and there's sharks there. You know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, you're like, bro, can I swim? I don't know if I'm gonna get ate by a shark. Like, this is real. Like, you just gotta jump. You just gotta jump. And the biggest thing there is doing it like, yeah, trading a lot size, like a dollar lot size when you first start, like, it's crazy. It's like, oh my God, I'm 10 pips in profit. Like, whoa, I'm down a lot of money. Like, because you see that red. So that's what I'm saying, is you got to get accustomed to the 0.01 and understand that, you know, you're risking 1-2% in the beginning. But one step further, is the greed. There's two types of greed. I had the not normal greed. There's the greed of over leveraging, overtraining. You want more, you want more, you want more. I would say that's 80-90% of people. I had the greed that I already had money. I didn't want to lose the money in my account, right? So I would under leverage. I never really made any money in my first 30, 69 days or whatever, because I would risk 0.25% to make a half or 0.75%. So I would, on $1,000 account, I would lose, you know, $3, $4, $5, and I would make, you know, maybe 10, 15 bucks. And I wouldn't make crap, right? Because I didn't want to lose the money I had. And I still had to overcome that greed, just like other people are like, yo, like, I'm done over leveraging. I'm done over trading.
That's amazing. What an incredible perspective. All right, so the second tier that we were talking about was the intermediate folks, people who have been trading for, let's say, 6 to 18 months. They understand how to functionally trade, how to enter trades, and the mechanical aspect of it. But when it comes to the success, right, they're either closing the right trades, keeping the wrong trades open, over leveraging, over trading, some of these simpler mistakes. What advice would you give to them in terms of getting their focus on track and getting to the place they want to be?
Very good question. And I remember when I went through that, the biggest thing, I love systems, right? And so what I used to do is affirmations, right? I trade for risk reward. I am a profitable trader. I'm a money magnet, and just those affirmations. And what I used to do is I put a sticky note on my laptop, right? Like right here. And I would have a confirmation checklist. And so with that, I would have like check mark 1, boom. All right. Consolidation marked off. All right. Check mark 2. All right. Breakout. Confirmation 3, doji, or whatever your confirmations, Fibonacci, bam, check mark. So I would look at the charts and I would look down and I'd be like, all right, check, 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 all right? And then literally that would be my checklist right here, smack in the middle. And sometimes I would put it on my charts, right? So I would copy and put it on my charts. I'm looking right at it. I'm literally looking right at it. And then on one step further, what I would do is literally on if I broke one of my rules, in school, what I used to do, I got in trouble a lot. So I would have to write on the chalkboard, right? And with that, babe, Crystal, can you turn that down? So with that, what I would do is literally, I, Lucas Longmire, will not over leverage, and write that like 100 times. And the third thing I would do is a trading journal. That's very important because you can literally mark up your emotions when you're trading. Like, okay, cool. But every time this happens, I would literally close my trade out. But I remember it always hit take profit. Okay, man, you know, when this happened, I always close out early because I didn't like to see drawdown. Okay, cool. I did that 5 times in a row. I can go back and review that. And now you're using your trading journal to help you stay consistent.
Some of you guys listening to this might be like, okay, that sounds a little bit simple, but I really can't stress enough how important this stuff is. These little simple tools like journaling your emotions during trading could be that spark that completely changes your trading life and puts you on a path of understanding. So, Luke, I really appreciate that advice. That's really expert level advice. Let's take it one level higher. The folks that already have that consistency, they've already tasted that success, but they're having trouble breaking out of where they are. So they're comfortable making, let's say, 1,000 a month trading, but they're scared to be like, okay, if I do a little bit more, maybe I lose this 1,000 a month. And they're kind of in that place. Could you walk through that?
Yeah, so I even went that like when I was doing that. I don't know, I forget the exact lot size, but let's just say like I was trading 1 lot size, and I was looking like I could probably trade. My risk management was good for like 3 or 4 lot size, but I wasn't ready for that. A couple of tricks you can do is, number one is go to demo and just get used to seeing the red, right? Like, okay, because you go from 5 lots to 10 lots, you know, like, oh shoot, like Like I'm negative a few $1,000s just like that, you know? So you get used to the psychology there as well. And also what you can do is what I like to do is I don't enter my whole position in one entry. You know, so say I'm doing 5 lots, right? I enter one lot as it's like a scout test position, right? Boom. If it goes and hits take profit, cool, I made the money. But usually there's always some sort of drawdown, right? And with that, you know, I might be 3, 4, 5 pip drawdown. That's fine, depending on if you're scalping, swing, intra, whatever, right? And next thing I know, I go a little bit in drawdown. I stack a position, you know, so I'm not even getting a whole 0.5% off 2 positions yet. And then it goes maybe a couple more in drawdown. I'm like, okay, cool, boom, I enter another position. Maybe I'm at a 0.75% or maybe 1%. Then it's starting to take off. Say I'm doing a breakout and it's starting to continue, right? I'm like, okay, cool. Now I enter off a candle, off a rejection and trend line continuation, whatever your confirmations are. And next thing you know, it's starting to go in profit. I add another position and boom, I'm at 4 lots right there. And it's still to continue. Like, okay, this trade's going to take off. Boom, another position. Now you stack those 5 positions over 4 instead of doing like you're so used to doing 1 position, even though your risk management could allow 5 lots because your account's so big, right? So there's a couple of techniques there.
I didn't mean to interject, but is the goal of that to sort of just get better prices and to diversify your risk so you don't take it all in the same place? Is that really the rationale?
Yeah, both. So to do exactly what you said, but also get yourself used to, because once you drop 5 lots, it's instant. It's instant red. It's instant like, yo, we're doing this. But if you're, it's like jumping in a cold water, you know, like you can either jump in like, damn, like that's going to be a big shock, just like you dropping 5, 10 lots.
Or dip your toes in first.
Yeah, you can dip the toes in. Okay, cool. I'm getting used to it. All right, let me put like, you know, my foot to my knee in. Ooh, this is a little chilly. This is a little chilly, you know what I'm saying? And that's like 2 lots if we're going for 5. Then you go like waist deep. Now that's 3 lots. Okay, I can get used to this. And then after the trade and the confirmations and the confidence in the trade is going to be better, right? So as it's going more in profit, you know, you don't want to, you know, have horrible risk management, but like if it's going in profit a little bit more, you know, you're 5, 10 pips in profit, put one other position in, boom, you're good to go.
All right, amazing advice for beginners, intermediate, advanced, and I really appreciate that. I feel like one of the biggest aspects of trading is the mindset. And mindset is, there's no trading mindset, in my opinion. I feel like it's just overall your mindset that translates into your trading performance. And you mentioned some things that were really important. You mentioned the how is irrelevant, and you mentioned the importance of being coachable. But those are 2 things that I feel like are very important for anybody learning a new skill, but especially traders. Could you talk about those 2 things?
Yeah, so being coachable, and it's even being coachable to yourself. If your trading plan is saying XYZ, XYZ, and you don't follow it, you're not being coachable, right? And not, it's not just to your mentor, but maybe even have someone accountable. You know, maybe it's a trading person that's in your niche or whatever, and you want to, you know, go over the same trades together, if you will, and or just hold each other accountable. So the coachability is not just for your mentor or whoever, but also for yourself. Right, you gotta, and I've known people that go off the deep end, like you know, the money is evil or whatever. I've had a few students that, you know, just like they can't become coachable to their trading plan, and they keep blowing accounts. You at some point you gotta look yourself in the mirror. Am I this greedy? Am I really this undisciplined? Because I can't follow my own rules. And you're either going, at that point, you're either going to boom, it's going to click, or you're just going to kind of like go in this deep hole, if you will, because you are so greedy and you can't follow instructions and so forth. So that was on the coachable. And what was the second one?
The second part was about the how, and how if you're determined enough to make something happen, worrying about the how shouldn't be a factor.
Yeah, so like, and that goes with life in general and any goals, but like the how is always the biggest and worst word you can use when it comes to success, because everybody wants to know, well, how I'm going to do it, all the mechanics, and that's fine. But there's a spiritual side of success where the how it doesn't matter. What matters is the goal. And you know, kind of unpacking this a little bit, what are you going to do when you hit 10K a month, 100K a month in trading? What are you going to do with the money? You got to start acting as if you already have it right here, right now, because life is going to give you certain situations, circumstances, and opportunity to fulfill that goal, that desire. So if you want 10K a month in trading, You want 100K a month in trading? Life is going to give you setups in the charts. It's going to give you the opportunities to take advantage of it. It's going to give you XYZ in your trading to overcome those objections, right? Same thing with life and entrepreneurship. It's going to give you business deals, contracts, whatever. It doesn't matter. It flows over to both sides. And one thing we didn't touch on just really quick is on the discipline. Is so important. The discipline is probably one of the biggest things in trading. And if you're not, and follow me here, this might be like a, it hurts a little bit, but if you're not having success in trading, look at other areas of your life. Can you go to the gym 5 days a week? Can you stop eating pizza 5 days a week? You know what I'm saying? Look at your other areas of your life, because usually when I become undisciplined in XYZ with my food, my nutrition, my workouts, showing up to the meditating every day, whatever that looks like, then my trading suffers, my business suffers, and so forth, because how you do anything is how you do everything. So focus on getting your relationships right, your gym sessions right, your eating habits right, and that'll flow over to your trading as well.
So to somebody who's watching this that really hasn't been able to get disciplined enough, what advice would you give them in order to start taking things seriously enough that they can reach that discipline point?
It's to start with a goal. So put it on a piece of paper, because the goal is not a goal until you write it down. Put sign a contract yourself. I, Lucas Longmire, will trade at 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. I, Lucas Longmire, will always use a minimum of a 1 to 2 risk reward. I, Lucas Longmire, and these contracts, and sign it, right? Sign it with yourself, because you're literally telling your subconscious mind that, hey, yo, it's time to be serious now, right? And then, like I said, use those affirmations and use that little checklist on a sticky note over and over. And you want to rewire the mind, because the only thing is discipline is habits. So a habit starts with 1, 2, 3, 4 times in a row, and you can build off that every single time. And the one thing as well is don't feel bad about yourself if you fall off track. Everybody falls off track a little bit. You got to forgive yourself and show yourself graciousness. Like, yo, I messed up a little bit. Okay, cool. It's time to get back on the horse. And really using those affirmations, the checklist, and so forth, and really creating a habit. Because follow me here, if you create a habit with it, it becomes unconscious competent. And what unconscious competent means, it's so natural for you that you don't think about it. Do you think about brushing your teeth? Probably not. Do you think about tying your shoe? Probably not. I don't really think when I trade. I could be done in literally 5-10 minutes. I get on the charts, mark it up, cool. I'm waiting for a price to move. You want to get it to that level where you can get on the charts and analyze the charts in literally 10 minutes, and boom, you're good to go, because you've done it so much. But it's through the repetition to get unconscious competent.
Some of you guys, this might be the first time you've heard about that concept of conscious competence, but I would definitely go back and slow that down. And I'm going to ask you about that. I feel like that concept of signing a contract with yourself is a very serious turning point. I feel like that's something that anybody can do on any day that says, I'm sick and tired of this. And they can pull out a form and say, I, Roy, will not do X, Y, and Z. And I feel like that's extremely powerful. Can you touch a little bit on that conscious competence? You recommended something to me a couple of years ago.
What's your command?
Kevin Trudeau.
Yeah.
Right. Can you explain the different tiers of conscious competence and how that relates to trading?
Yeah, so there's the first one that you just don't know what you don't know. So it's you don't know, people are like, well, Forex is a scam. They just don't know what they don't know. It's not like they're bad people or anything like that. They're not educated on it, right? Sure. So that's the first level of it, is you just don't know there's such thing as investing. There's no such thing as having your money work for you. You're just ignorant to it, which isn't bad nor good. You just don't know. And the second tier is you don't know. All right. So I am not tech savvy when it comes to programming, coding. I was doing some contracts over the weekend. I'm like, bro, I have my lawyer or whatever. I'm like, I don't know what this means. Just tell me where to sign. Does it check out? Give me the thumbs up. All right, cool. Sign it right here. Because it's so much jargon and all this, a different language to me. Right. So I know I don't know anything about contracts. I know I don't know anything about coding and, computer programming and all that. Right. And then there's conscious competence, right? The third level, right, is where you have to put thought energy into it. You're good at it, XYZ, but you can't just do it on autopilot. You got to actually think about it. You got to put some conscious energy, thought energy into it to do a training, to do maybe trading, to do XYZ. And then the autopilot is where you want to get is unconscious competent, where it's so natural that you just do it, right? It just automatically comes out, or you automatically trade, or you automatically shoot a free throw or brush your teeth, right? So it's like the third one, going back really quick, it's like me tying a shoe. It's like, okay, loop, swoop, and pull. All right, got it. All right, cool, I got it. Loop, swoop, and pull. Bet, I got it down. Where unconscious, the fourth level is like boom, boom, boom. You're talking to someone over here and you're just tying your shoe. Like you just automatically did it because your mind has already done it so much that you don't have to think about it. There's no thought, energy, or thinking about it.
I know this is a hard question because I'm not sure there's a right answer to this, but if you have to put a ballpark number, how many times does someone have to do something in order to get to that subconscious competence?
I would say if we're going to calculate in hours, I would say, I mean, to master anything is 10,000 hours, that little cliche, but I would say a solid, in terms of months, I would say probably a solid 6 to 9 months of doing something just repetitive every single day. But it has to be consistent too. You can't do like an hour today, hour next week. You want to do it like 5 days a week and so forth. But I would say that's kind of like a ballpark, if you will.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I really feel like it's almost impossible to get a hard answer on that. So I appreciate you trying.
Yeah.
You, real quick, before I move on to the next step, you just said something that was pretty important that I kind of have a question on. Are you in the camp of if somebody does something over the weekend, let's say 6 or 8 hours, and they really crank at it, that's better than doing something for 15, 20 minutes a day consistently? Which camp do you sit on? Or are you somewhere in the middle?
I'm both. So I created this formula, and it's burning desire plus belief times intensity equals a quantum leap. So the
I'm sorry, could you repeat that one more time?
Yeah. Burning desire plus belief times intensity equals a quantum leap. So I believe in consistency will always outwork talent, outwork, these little spurts or whatever. But at the same time, I believe in putting big spurts into consistency. So if you have the burning desire of losing weight, 50 pounds, learning how to trade, learning economics, fundamentals, whatever that is, the burning desire, 6-figure earner, 7-figure earner, blah, blah, right? The burning desire plus belief. You believe you can do it. The craziest thing I did, you did, anyone did is believe we could, right? Because if you don't believe it, you're not going to achieve it, period, right? But you have to have the burning desire of like, no matter what happens, I'm going to make this happen, period. Like there's no if, buts, ands, if this happens, if that happens. No, you're going to do it. You lose money, you lose people in your team, you lose an investment play, XYZ happens, you're still going to do it. So the burning desire plus belief. But the craziest thing, right? And people used to tell me, Luke, you're crazy, you can't do this. It's about taking that 5-year goal and putting 3 years. Taking that 3-year goal, put in 1 year. Take that 1-year goal and put in 90 days. Take that 90-day goal, put in 30 days. Right. So take that spurt of 5, 6, 10 hours on the weekend, but also do that every single day with whatever you're doing, whether that's entrepreneurship, learning how to trade, the gym, whatever. You got to be completely obsessed about it. And I'm not just talking about like, well, look, how do we trade 6 hours a day? You don't, but you have to study, you have to take notes, you got to be thinking about it. Right? Thinking about it, because what you think about most happens, right? Your mind is literally a GPS. So whatever you're vibrating, you're attracting, right? And if you're thinking about 7-figure earner, you're going to get it because you're obsessed about it, you believe in it, and you have the burning desire for it. Somehow, some way it's going to happen. I can't tell you how it's going to happen, but I know it's going to happen. It's a spiritual law. It's like law of gravity. If I drop it, it's law of gravity. It's a spiritual law.
This is some of the deepest conversations we've had on this podcast. Luke, I really appreciate you bringing that out. Talk to me about your relationship with folks like Bob Proctor, with folks like Tony Robbins, and going to their seminars and really experiencing that. And I want to say Bob Proctor because to me, Bob Proctor is one of those like pinnacle figures in mindset coaching. One of those historical figures that kind of bred a whole industry. Yeah. And you having worked with him personally, I feel like is a very impressive feat, more so than some of the other things. Could you walk me through your relationship with Bob Proctor and what that's done for your mindset?
Yeah, so like it all started. I went to a normal, it's called a paradigm shift. It's like a $300-400 program or whatever. And, it was really, it started with Kevin Trudeau, right? The Your Wish, Your Command. And, you know, Bob is kind of like the alpha of that, if you will, where KT's kind of like the student, you know, KT's, you know, half the age, if you will. But next thing I know, you know, I was always been, you know, not even knowing I was doing law of attraction, spiritual laws just through KT and that audio. But when I met Bob, you know, it really took my beliefs to the next level. And he challenged me on things, you know, that there is no such thing as big or small. There is no like 10 million a month, you know, like I have 10 million a month all over my windows and all this to reprogram my mind. And he said, Luke, you know, why are you only shooting for $1 million a month? I'm like, I mean, $1 million a month is a lot of money. That's like, that's 6 figures, you know, like literally almost every day, you know? So $1 million a month is big. He's like, well, there's no such thing as big or small. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, your perspective puts big or small, right? $1 million a month might be big to you, but to a billionaire, that ain't crap, right? I'm like, oh, okay. And now I'm looking at, I'm like, okay, cool. 10K a month. Some people think it's a lot of money. 10K a month pays for my rent plus my car note. You know what I'm saying? So like, there is no big or small. Your perspective puts it on it. So when you understand that your perspective puts it on everything, right? My bottle of water over here isn't a big glass of water. It's not a small glass of water. It just is, right? So it's your perspective that puts it behind it. I think that's one of the biggest things he taught me. You know, and the second thing is this formula really quick. You know, let me answer your question, but I can turn this
Do
into a
your
whole
thing. This is awesome.
So with that, like Bob and your proximity is power. And when you rub shoulders, it's like the whole term, you know, you hang around 5 millionaires, you're gonna be a 6. You hang around 5 broke people, you're gonna be a 6. So when you're rubbing shoulders, you're learning from people that have exactly what you want. And Bob, in my opinion, is one of the biggest pinnacles of Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins. Like, in my opinion, he's above them. You know, they went to him for coaching and so forth. And rubbing shoulders with him and his network, oh my God, it took me to a bigger level than just trading or just, you know, network marketing and so forth, where it helped me in all phases of life. Spiritually, I started meditating, I started journaling, you know, and I was like, journaling is kind of girly. No, it's not. You know, meditating, like you gotta feed your mind, you know what I'm saying? And that relationship right there catapulted me into so many other things, trust funds and all kinds of amazing things. And then he taught me this formula. It goes, your thoughts control your feelings, right, dictate your actions determine your results. So your thoughts are everything. Your thoughts create everything in your life, right? So if you're thinking good, I'm a 6-figure trader, 7-figure trader, I'm a profitable trader, I trade for risk reward, I'm a money magnet, XYZ, I'm feeling good. And when you feel good, you're going to attract more good. I feel good about this. I'm going to take these trades. I'm going to make this money. Yes, 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 yes. And when you feel good, what are you going to do? You're going to do good, right? You're going to do amazing things. You're going to take the action. You're going to pick up the phone. You're going to close some deals, whatever. And when you do all that, what are you going to do? You're having amazing results. What most people do, and probably a lot of you traders out there, you start at the bottom. You look at your results, usually negative. You're broke, you're losing money, you're blowing accounts, you're greedy, whatever. You're looking at current physical results, which is controlling your thoughts. Man, I don't know if I can do this. Maybe this isn't for me. You know, well, he's profitable, she's profitable, but I'm not profitable. I started before him or her, but they're making money, I'm not, yada, yada, yada. And guess what? When you have all those negative thoughts, your feelings are going to go down. And when your feelings are going to go down, you're going to attract negativity, you're going to attract depression, you're going to attract negative things because your feelings attract good or bad. So if you're feeling bad, guess what? You're going to do bad. Man, I think it's going to be a good trade. Let me just buy. Oh, I lost money, you know, and next thing you know, you get negative results because you're looking at current results to control everything. You got to start with your thoughts.
That's amazing. So thoughts create emotions, which create actions, which then lead to results.
Yep.
What an incredible formula. So if somebody's not fortunate enough to have a Bob Proctor in their life, I'm not sure how likely that's going to be. What can somebody that's watching this do to simulate that same experience?
There's a lot of good free audios out there. The first one I would do is start with Kevin Trudeau, Your Wish, Your Command. You know, there's some good YouTube videos out there of Bob Proctor. I know it's not going to be the ultimate sauce, if you will, or mentorship, but start somewhere, because if you start there, you're going to build gradually, you know, and so forth. And if you really have that desire of success, Bob Proctor somehow, some way is going to come in your life. You know, you or me are to come into your life to coach your mentor or whatever the have you. Is the desire and the belief are going to create situations like mentorship, or create situations and opportunities like you making money to invest into yourself with coaching. So it's like a domino effect. If you start with the desire and belief, right, all this is going to fall into play, right? Your thoughts are going to be good. Your feelings are going to be good. And when you're feeling good, you're going to attract, you know, people like you to coach them, or me to coach them, or whatever have you, or, you know, Grant Cardone real estate program, or whatever have, you know, all that good stuff. So I would say it is build off that, focus on your desires and beliefs, and then, you know, whatever you can find on YouTube about Proctor, get that Kevin Trudeau audio, you know, that's going to be a big one. That I listened to that audio at least 100 times my first 2 years, literally on a repeat over and over and over. And honestly, I give a lot of credit to Kevin Trudeau, and he really got me right, you know what I'm saying, for free.
That's awesome. We're about to wrap up the show. Luke, I really appreciate you spending your time today with us. I think it was very generous of you. I just have 2 more questions for you.
Let's do it.
One of them is a shameless plug. So can you talk to us about some of the things that you're involved in today, some of the projects, and kind of just give yourself a quick shout out?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm in a network marketing company first and foremost. I do I Am Academy. So with that, you know, I have my own Forex app with them, which is basically like trade alerts, trade ideas, signals. I trade live 3 times a week. So I actually trade live with however many thousand students every day. Well, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I do that. That's my main thing. Then I diversify into hedge funds, Forex AI. Let's see here. I do one-on-one coaching. I do the trust fund. So I help people protect their assets, right? So whatever plays you have in life, protect your assets. And it also allows you not to pay taxes, right? So when you get to that next level, a trust fund is just like Bill and Melinda Gates or Donald Trump or the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, all of that, where the trust fund protects you from paying any taxes, period, right? And then also protect all those assets that you do have as well. I do Walmart, Amazon automation for diversifications as well. So I have a lot of different plays. You know, in a nutshell, I help you create capital. I help you diversify the capital. I help you protect the capital and not pay taxes. If you're interested in one of those 3, I got 5, 10 different plays for you.
Guys, check out Luke. Luke, you want to shout out your social medias real quick, just for
folks? Yeah,
for
sure. It's Long Money Luke, and the Luke is L-U-C. So Long, L-O-N-G, Money, M-O-N-E-Y, Luke, L-U-C on Instagram. And there's a lot of scams one. There's like 10s and 50 of them, right? So it's the one with 300,000 followers. I'm about to get blue checked here very shortly, but there's a lot of scams from me.
Are you ever going to hit up somebody to convert your Bitcoin to Ethereum?
Never.
Are you going to get somebody to invest the Dogecoin in your 3rd hedge fund?
No.
All right. So you guys heard it from Long Money Luke himself. Luke, last thing, if somebody's watching this, they're cleaning their room, they're doing whatever they're doing, and they're like, I want to go do something after this. All right, I got inspired. I'm feeling good. Luke got me fired up. What should somebody do after listening to this podcast that's going to help them get closer to their goals?
Take action, whatever it is, your program, my program, whoever's program. The hardest step is taking that first step. Whatever you've been thinking about for the past 3, 6, 9, 12 months, do it, right? Invest in that program, buy that coach, whatever it is, and quit freezing yourself, right? Just staying in limbo. Whatever it is, do it, right? And failure, last thing I'll say is fail your way forward, right? The reason I've had so much success is I failed, got back on my feet and failed more. And the reason I've had so much success because I failed more than you, right? And that's the biggest thing is get comfortable with feeling uncomfortable and fail your way forward.
Long Money Luke stops by the Expert Trader podcast with some heat. If you didn't learn anything today, it's because you weren't paying attention. Luke, I really appreciate you for stopping by the Expert Trader podcast.
Thank you for having me, guys. Appreciate you.